So today I am answering one of your questions that you submitted on my website, truetoucounseling.com, under Ask Diana. So these are really fun. I think they're fun for me because I get a lot of really cool questions and a lot of questions that I know people have but don't ask or are too scared to ask sometimes or don't know who to ask. So that's why I created this, because I think it's cool to be able to ask those questions. These are also sometimes the questions that I get asked in really weird random moments when people find out I'm a therapist and I'm, on a plane with them and they find out and then they end up disclosing something or asking something completely in left field just because that they've never had the opportunity to kind of ask this question to someone who may have the answer and isn't going to judge them. So those are the two pieces that I think are really big. You have to think that maybe they'll be able to help you and that they're not going to judge you, or it's not going to come back on you, or it's not something you ask, your friend or family member and they're like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, that is a tangent. But that's why I love these questions and I love answering these questions that you guys submit. So keep submitting those. Those are really great questions. And if you're asking the question, someone else also has that question that they could use the answer to as well. It's also interesting that themes seem to come up. And this is one theme that I've been seeing a little more lately. So the question was, how do I deal with not being attracted to my husband? So that's actually a pretty heavy question. And the interesting thing is it's been coming up in my practice recently in a few different ways. So I've gotten, my wife isn't attracted to me anymore. I've gotten, is there something wrong with my relationship if I'm not attracted to my boyfriend? So this is, the attraction piece is big and it's relevant. So it's really great that you brought this up. Thank you for asking this question. So let's talk about that. Why? So for me, what comes up is a few different things. Is it that you're not attracted to them and that is sort of alluding to something deeper? So sometimes when we're dating and people come in and they're really not attracted to somebody, it can sometimes mean that there's something else going on, that this relationship isn't right and you're trying to push it for whatever reason, or all the pieces aren't there that you really want and need, but you're trying to ignore them and it's just not there. And there also is something to chemistry that sometimes is there or isn't there. And as much as we want to change it, sometimes we can't. So that is one sort of population that this happens to, that you're trying to push something and it's just not there, even though you don't want to admit that it's there. It's not there. Or that maybe means that the relationship needs to be evaluated more seriously. That's kind of one possibility. But it gets more complicated in longer term relationships because we change, our bodies change, our lives change, our interests change, things change. And so sometimes attraction can ebb and flow, just like other things in our lives. And I don't think that's not a deal breaker, but it is something that needs to be looked at and needs to be worked on and needs to be sort of evaluated. So my first suggestion, if this is what you're experiencing, would be to evaluate it a little more deeply. What are you feeling? What's going on? What else is coming up for you? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about them? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about your relationship? I would say first evaluate that. See what's going on. Try to get a better picture about what's going on in general and within yourself and in the relationship, not just all about them and that piece. So look at that and kind of see what's going on there. And then from there you can have more kind of information on what to work on. Maybe you're feeling really not satisfied with life. Maybe you're not satisfied with your life and what's going on. Maybe you're not satisfied with your decisions lately. these kind of questions also come up a lot when someone is feeling more depressed. They tend to not like anything and see everything as more negative. It's almost like those glasses are on and everything seems worse and harder and more difficult and more negative. So it's possible that there could be kind of something going on with you, and you're viewing that person a little bit more negatively. That's why I think it's helpful to really evaluate what's going on and get a good picture of it. And then when you have a better picture of what's going on, then you can figure out how to best tackle it and how best to move forward. So there are some cases where, and actually, quite a few that come up, where it's just sort of a life change. Things happen, our bodies change, our lives change, and the attraction to your partner just has gone down. And for that, in that instance, I would say it's really important to try to reconnect with them, find ways to connect with them again, and to form the connection that you once had, or at least try to build it a little bit. And that doesn't mean you have to feel exactly the same way you felt, or they have to look exactly the same way they looked when you met them, because that's just not realistic. But you can step back and you can start to form connection with them again and try to form that kind of bond, and that, I think that takes stepping back and being a little bit more, I guess actually being a little bit less with your expectations. So your expectation for them shouldn't be that they look the way they looked or that you feel the way you felt. So checking your expectations a little bit or a lot and trying to rebuild in small ways. So I'm going to shoot a video on that in and of itself, because that's something that's come up a lot lately with clients as well. Got a bug flying in my mouth. Oh geez, the fun of shooting outside. But I'm going to shoot a video on that as well, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see that. I'm going to shoot a video just on how to reconnect with our partners and my advice for what that should look like. But I would say it's possible to build on love. It's possible to build up attraction. That's possible, but it's not easy. So first, evaluate what's actually going on, what's actually happening. Is it that this is kind of just a change in life and sort of a normal flow of a relationship, or does this mean there's something else going on? And in both instances, what else is going on in the picture? What's going on with you? What's going on in the relationship? What's going on in your life? And then from there, evaluate how to move forward. Should you move forward with trying to connect with your partner more, trying to form that bond a little more? Or should you evaluate if the relationship is really right for you, or if there's maybe not as much hope for that relationship, and maybe that's not the relationship for you? So those are kind of the 3 steps I would say that you can take, and that would be really helpful to evaluate. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will shoot a video kind of addressing the 3rd piece on how to connect better with your partner and what you can do and what's helpful and what that should look like. So subscribe to my channel and I will shoot that and get that out. And please let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, you can message me directly, or you can go to my website and submit those anonymously there. All right, thank you guys. Hope everyone has a great day.